Hello, welcome back to the StokeFM Morning Show. Again, busy, full show here.
Busy.
Thank you very much to Mark Bender from Avalanche Canada for joining us. Avalanche Forecasting now. Annabeth, we have two lovely souls in the studio. We have Mr. Scott Duke. He's with Wellstand Group, a business that helps sell businesses.
That's right.
And Sabina Spauldman, a financial advisor with Investors Group.
Heyo.
Good morning, both of
Morning.
you.
Morning.
Sharing the single mic. You guys are here to talk about a lunch and learn next Monday. I understand there's going to be lunch. What are we going to learn about and why?
Yes, the learning component. That's the key thing, right? So the lunch is going to be at the Begbie room at the Regent.
Okay.
The lunch will be good, but you're not supposed to come for the lunch. You can get lunch anywhere. You're coming for the knowledge. And what we're doing is we're teaching people, or at least exposing them to, the best practices for preparing your business to sell. So this is something that every business is going to have to do at some point. There's only two ways out. This is what I say. You either close it or you transition it.
Those are the only two options.
That's it, right? So hopefully you transition, because closing is quite painful. And I said I'm going to start this conversation with the why. And myself, before I came to Revelstoke, some people may know me from StokeFM. They may know me from the hot dog guy that was out on the street for a couple of years.
Keeps dogs, yes.
Or from the property management company. But before I came out here, I ran a few companies back in Ontario, and all of them just closed, unfortunately. And with the knowledge that I have now, looking back at those companies in closing them, I know, and it's the painful thing to know, is that cost me about $340,000. So I could have paid my house off. I could have done a whole bunch of stuff with that money. And the reality is, if I knew what I knew today, I would have been able to walk away with a check instead of just shutting these companies down, which is tragic. And so that's why I've started this company, and that's why I've partnered up with Investors Group and BDO and BDC to bring these events to Revelstoke, Golden, Vernon, Salmon Arm, and teach people these few key things that if they know, they'll be able to get out and leave with a check instead of a kick in the buns.
Right. So the why is to help people maximize in the inevitable, this thing that happens with your business. You're either going to close it or you're going to transition it, and how to maximize that. Yeah,
exactly.
Very cool. Sabina.
Yes.
What is your role in this lunch and learn?
Well, the reason why we have so many people that are going to be presenting, BDC, BDO, Investors Group, and Wellstand, is because it's so important to have all these people. And all these people professionals play a really big role in the sale of your business. And it's important to get that professional help so that, like Scott said, you do end up with a check. You do it the most tax-efficient way possible. And then what you do with that money afterwards, you want to make sure that you're living comfortably, and if it's for retirement, that you're using those monies to do, or the best way that you can be using them.
You guys know things.
Yeah, you're so knowledgeable of things. Yeah,
you know things. Like you know how taxes work. I mean, a lot of people, if they just want to do their taxes themselves or whatever, they're fighting an uphill battle. At least you sort of know the ins and outs because you do it on a day in, day out basis. So I guess that's where the expertise. I'm just putting words in your mouth now. That's where you guys are experts.
Yeah. We need experts. You need experts on your team, and that's what we're bringing our team of professionals and partners to give you some great, valuable information.
So what kind of things will people be learning, or like a sort of a sneak peek at what they might learn on the lunch?
Trying to get a free learn here?
I want some tips for selling my businesses.
We'll give you some
$25,
tips.
Annabeth.
Yeah. The $25 just covers the food. The information is free. We're just trying to get people to come and listen to it. But we're all speaking on different things. So basically, we're speaking to our areas of expertise. So you have BDO coming in there, and they're clearly going to be speaking on ways to minimize your tax implication at the time of close to keep more money in your pocket. BDC is coming in there speaking on when a business transacts, there's usually financing involved. And BDC is the largest business development bank in Canada, and it's pretty fantastic that we're having them come to this event in Revelstoke. I'm pretty excited about it. So they're going to be speaking to that kind of stuff and giving people knowledge there. I'm speaking on what you need to do to properly set up your business to attract a buyer, because that's what we do mostly, is get buyers in and set businesses up so that they're actually attractive. And then, Sabina, you can talk about what you're going to speak on.
Yeah. Well, there's different ways. Like Scott said, you either transition out or you close your doors. And when you transition out, there's a couple of different ways to do that. So I'll be touching on those, the different types of sales and transition to family members, and then what to do with the funds afterwards, and a couple key bits of information about, planning for your retirement and what to do with the money afterwards to make sure that you're using every dollar to its best ability.
And just sort of quickly now, are transitioning businesses and closing businesses, is this something that is pertinent to Revelstoke? Is this something that you're seeing lots more of? Are people retiring, businesses closing? Why is it important here in town?
Well, specifically to small towns, it's important because you have assets in the community that if they shut down will just disappear. If you're in a larger center, if an auto body shop shuts down or your bakery shuts down, other businesses can fill those voids because you have multiple businesses in the community providing the same service. Small towns, that may not be the case. So, for instance, the Roxy Theatre transitioned pretty recently in the last couple of years. If that didn't transition to a new owner and just shut down, we would have lost something incredibly valuable in the community. So as much as it's important to the owner to sell their business so that they can retire and live comfortably afterwards, it's important to the community to keep these assets. And that's why if an owner doesn't know the necessary steps to what to do, the community as a whole can have a loss.
Well, thank you both for joining us this morning. For more information, go to the wellstandgroup.ca. There's a video. Scott, you've got some more information on this in this video. It's very helpful. You can put in your email address and reserve your spot for this lunch and learn. It's next Monday in the Begbie room at the Regent Inn.
12 to 1:15. If people can't make this one in Revelstoke, you mentioned off air that there were other ones that they could attend as well?
Yep, there's one in Golden, there's one in Salmon Arm, and we're doing one in Vernon as well. And the hardest thing about radio that I know is for people to remember the contact and where to go. Mm-hmm. So this is as easy as it gets. You just have to remember the number 7, okay? Because all the numbers in town are pretty much the same. They start with 837 or they start with 814. So it's an 837-7000. So if you can remember the number 7, you can call us and we can tell you the website and all the rest of it. That's the hardest part I find at the end of these things is the call to action and where people go. So number 7.
Number 7. You got that? 7. Well, Scott, Sabina, thank you very much again for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.